if you are watching this and you are struggling to grow your arms and you're really frustrated at the rate of progress, don't worry, I've been there myself. And sometimes the biggest mistake you can be making with growing a certain muscle group is actually trying too hard and doing too many variations. So the biggest mistake I was making previously with my arm training was I was doing 5, 6, 7 different bicep curl variations, searching for the next exercise that was going to dramatically speed up my results, and then doing too many tricep exercises, hammer curls, preacher curls, loads of different bicep curls. And then, you know, lo and behold, I basically was not progressing on any of these exercises. You start swapping out each exercise all the time, not keeping any consistency in the exercises, and then you wonder why, okay, well now I'm not seeing any changes in shape, and it's because you're not applying progressive overload. You haven't got enough consistency with your exercise selection such that you can track that the weights are going up over time, which is progressive overload and the way that we build muscle. So what I actually did to fix this, and the way that you are going to grow bigger arms, is simplifying your arm training. The first thing is just stripping back the number of exercises you are doing, focusing on quality sets close to failure, and then making sure that you're tracking that the weights are going up and applying progressive overload over time. The second thing that I did was, in relation to this, was I looked at 2 tricep exercises, focusing on hitting the long head of the triceps. So if you look at the anatomy of the triceps, we've got 3 heads: medial, lateral, and long head. Now the long head is the only head of the triceps that crosses the shoulder joint and the elbow joint. So in order to get a full contraction on the long head and actually recruit it, we need the arm back behind the body like this, yeah? That's where we're gonna get all 3 heads of the tricep involved. And the other 2 heads, the medial and the lateral head, are gonna be involved when you are doing any form of shoulder or chest press in extending the elbow. So regardless of the tricep exercise that you select, those 2 heads, the medial and lateral head, are going to be involved anyway. So we may as well prioritize that long head, which is the biggest of the 3. And the exercises I would be selecting would be things like a tricep push down and a variation where I can get all the way down and back. So something like a long rope tricep extension or a cuffed tricep extension. Now, providing that you're picking 2 tricep exercises, mainly for variety and because the triceps make up a large section of the upper arm, and then you are doing a hammer curl, which is a curl with your knuckles facing out. Now this hits a muscle known as the brachialis muscle, which sits under the long head of the bicep, which is essentially going to give your upper arm more size. Now you want to be hitting these curls from different angles, so I'd go for 1 hammer curl like this, and then 1 bicep curl variation, 2 if you really want to, with your palm facing the ceiling. Now when we have the palm facing the ceiling like this in a normal bicep curl, the biceps have more leverage to flex the elbow to come up than the brachialis in the hammer curl position. So doing 4 exercises, 5 if you really want to, across a whole week, I actually made much quicker progress, and that's because I focused on doing a hammer curl, a bicep curl, and then two tricep exercises, and I just tracked that the weights were going up, and I made sure I was really pushing myself on those sets close to failure, not really leaving more than 1 rep in the tank. To be honest, I took most of these sets to failure, and then I just progressed the weights over time. So I logged what I was doing like I would with my big compound exercises, so the squats, the leg press, the bigger movements using multiple muscle groups. I just wrote down what I was doing, and I made sure that the weights were going up over time on my arm exercises as well. So if you're watching this and your arms are not growing at the moment, it simply means that you are not applying progressive overload, which means you're not getting more reps or weight over time, and not actually progressing the training and forcing your body to adapt, which is how we build muscle. And you may not be training close enough to failure, and you may be leaving too many reps in the tank. Now, providing that you are progressing the weights over time through progressive overload, and you are increasing those demands on your body, your arms are going to grow. It's as simple as that. So you're not missing some insane new exercise that you haven't seen before. It's simply a case of stripping it back to basics, focusing on quality, not quantity, when it comes to your arm training, because the biceps and the triceps are going to be involved as well in compound exercises. So if you're doing a back day and you're doing a pull down or a row, you're already using your biceps and your forearms a bit in these movements. And the same applies to chest and shoulder training. If you're doing a push day, you're already using 2 heads of the tricep. They're involved in these movements as well. So you don't need to be doing 30, 40, 50 sets per week on your triceps and biceps to force them to grow. It's simply a case of stripping back what you're doing, quality working sets, close to failure. And that's why I'm going to bore you all to death with progressive overload and just coming back to the basics of how we build muscle. And it's simple in theory, difficult to actually execute over time and stay patient with, because what most people do is they add too many exercises on, they get impatient, they add more sets on when the weights aren't going up, and you can't shortcut the process of building muscle by just adding more and more volume on, more and more sets to get a pump on to speed up the rate of muscle growth. So apply these tips, 4 or 5 exercises across all of your arm training, quality working sets close to failure, pushing yourself, and I guarantee those arms will start growing, providing that you are sleeping correctly and actually having enough protein, which is just a case of taking care of yourself as best you can outside the gym. I really hope you found those simple tips useful. If you did, drop the video a like, hit subscribe if you are new, and hit that notification bell so you are notified of future videos. Let's all lose some fat, build some more muscle, and just keep it simple. I'll see you on the next video. See ya.